Hi, and welcome to another new episode of the Declutter Me podcast with myself, Shelina. I hope you're well wherever you are and keeping organized listening to these episodes. So this week, I thought I haven't discussed much about babies and kids in this podcast. A lot of that is due to me. I don't have kids. I'm still not married. So if you know any lovely blokes out there who are single and willing to live in Dubai, hook a girl up. Yep, I just pimped myself. Yeah, I did. Anyway, I digress. But a girl has to do what she has to do to get a husband, right? So anyway, due to me not having kids, I felt like I shouldn't or couldn't give my tips and tricks, but that's silly and that's on me because I've helped a lot of mums in the many years I've been organising and when they're due to give birth as well as afterwards as well. One client, I was helping her out and then, most of the time she was lying in bed because she was late and she was feeling rough. And then a few hours after having me in her house, she had her baby. So yeah, I think that was a good thing. So anyway, if you're due soon and drowning in information overload and getting overwhelmed, here are my tips and tricks on what you should get and how you should get organized for having the newborn baby. So the first thing I say to people is ask your family and friends to not buy you items, but to give you vouchers for baby shops, department stores and malls. So in the UAE, You Got a Gift is a great option and you get a voucher now for like places like Mall at Emirates, City Centre, and then you can go show that voucher and you get a card and then you can use it in loads of shops in that mall. So it's so much better. It reduces the clutter of unwanted presents and stuff and it means that you get what you really need. So just try and insist that on your friends and family and say, look, trying to be clutter-free this time. I think this is what I need in my life. Can you help me? Just give me vouchers. When you start buying stuff, a key item is having drawers. Drawers are really essential for staying organized with newborns, toddlers, kids. I think up to 3 or 4, you don't need hanging space much. You need lots of drawers and shelves. So if you are buying a changing table, get one with drawers underneath so you can put the essential items in there. One of my clients had a beautiful piece from Crate & Barrel recently. It looks lovely and it was a changing mat table with quite a few drawers in it as well. I think it was 8 drawers. It was perfect. But, there's ones in IKEA, there are ones in loads of other places. So get what is within your budget, but get drawers. And if you can't get a changing table, get a dresser, or you can get a secondhand dresser and then put a changing mat on top, those foamy kind of changing baby mat things. Can you tell I've not been a mother saying changing mat things? Yeah, get that. And then the drawers in, under the changing table or nearby, store the key items in them. So that'll be the nappies, the wet wipes, the trash bags, or you can get nappy trash bags, the creams, the rash cream, hairbrush, nail clippers, cotton wool and buds, and the main clothing items such as the onesies, the rompers, nightwear, the no scratch mittens, socks, booties, warm clothes, hats, tops and bottoms. And then the fancy stuff that you get as presents, if you get any, could be maybe hung or put somewhere else. And I said about getting the changing table, if you just get a changing table and you don't have drawers underneath, you can always get those Muji drawers, which are really great, and you can use them to put the stuff in them. If you get overstock, which lots of people will do, so you're for nappies, your wet wipes, put them in a wardrobe or a big cupboard away from the main console or main area you're going to be using all the time for the baby because they don't need to be accessible all the time. It's like once a week you can stock up, in the drawer. So put the overstock away from you because you don't want to be surrounded by boxes and packets of overstock because it's overwhelming. Next, separate the clothing items that you do receive or you do buy into their age groups and then store them in separate drawers or boxes. So label each drawer or box with the age group. So I normally separate into these sections. So there's newborn to 3 months, 3 months to 6 months, 6 months to 9 months, 9 to 12, 12 to 18, 18 to 24, and then it becomes years. So 2, 3, 4, etc. Every time you move into the next age group, take out the items and put the smaller stuff into that empty drawer and swap the labels. Before, though, you put the smaller items into the drawer or box, check the state of the items. If you do not want to use those items again, if it's got like puke that's never come off or food, or it just looks groggy, it just looks like it's a state, then donate it, throw it in the recycle bin if it's in that terrible state, and keep only the items you want to keep for your next child or you want to pass on to your friends or family. Doing that now reduces the process of having to deal with the decluttering of the baby items later on. And it's a smaller amount, it's not as overwhelming then. I've had to work with clients who have dealt with all these clothes in different age groups and then deciding what they want to keep and not keep. And there's just piles of clothes and it gets overwhelming. So if you do it over each section, so over 3 months or 6 months, go through that section. It helps you in the long run of decluttering and organizing the clothes. So that's the key thing for your clothes, your nappies, etc. Let's talk about the items to buy to prevent you buying useless items. So lots of people buy things, they go into shops and they're like, you need to buy this, you need to buy that. You don't. So I'm not going to talk about the chairs, the big items. So the stroller, the chairs, the hanging on the baby hanging and bouncing thing. What's it called? Bouncing chair thing. I'm not talking about the big things because I can't even name what they are. We're going to talk about the small things because they're the things that get overwhelming when you're trying to organize the nursery or your room for your baby. So first of all, if you're breastfeeding, get the nursing bras, the covers, nightwear and tops for easy access, nipple cream and shields to protect your body. They're very essential and you'll need that, especially in the first few weeks of having your baby. Now, if you're going to be, taking the milk out, using a breast pump, there are different types now. Now, I've seen all types. There are some deluxe electronic ones now. Get one that fits your budget and needs. If you're going back to work, you need one which will be easy to carry and store at work. And you also need to get milk storage bags and containers. I mean, you don't have to get anything fancy. There are really fancy ones now. But get what you can afford and what you can need, what you need. Next, you need to get a sterilizer to sterilize the teats and the bottles. Once again, there are various different types, or you can get them secondhand as well. People are always selling their ones, so see what's out there as well. And you need about 8 bottles with the newborn nipples and 1 cleaning brush, not 5, which people always seem to have. Why do you need that many cleaning brushes for a bottle, like to clean the bottles? Like you only need 1 or maybe 2 at the most. With the bottles, you need a few, but there's different sizes and different nipples for the different ages. So get what you need for the newborn and then you can move on to the next stage and the next stage and the next stage. So, and don't overstock and get ones for, 18 to 24 when you haven't even had the newborn yet. Wait, you can buy them later. Like they're online all the time. There's sales all the time. You can buy it then. The next thing to think about is formula if you're also bottle feeding. So extra formula can be stored with the overstock. Also think about getting a little thermos as well for the hot water to mix with the formula when you're out and about. Don't get one too big because you have to carry it along with the diaper bag and all that stuff. Another thing that people buy a lot of are bibs and muslin cloths. I would say get 6 to 8 of them, so maybe 2 packets to start off with. And then if you need more, you can always buy more, or you can order it online. Or other people will bring it as well and give it to you as presents because they won't give you vouchers. We'll try with the vouchers, but people won't listen. So just get 6 to 8 to start with, and then you can see how much more you need. Another thing to think about is a baby mattress and crib. So, you get the crib and the mattress, what fits in your house, in your room. But also buy the cotton sheets, the cot sheets and the blankets. Now, blankets, people seem to get loads and loads of blankets. They get them as presents from the grandparents and from friends. So buy like 1 blanket and buy a few cotton sheets. I keep on calling them cotton sheets. They're cotton sheets. And then most of you need about 4 cot sheets to hand. So one that's been used, 1 or 2 that's been washed, 1 for accidents. Also get a mattress protector because they are essential. You know, everybody needs mattress protectors. Another essential is baby monitors to check on the cutie when you're in another room. Of course, there are different types and people are always selling them as well, so you can get them. And now there's like security camera things that you can get as well. So they're not, there's so many different types and they link to your phone as well. So see what works for your phone as well. I've talked about nappies when discussing the changing table, but to add to your list, you'll need to get rash cream, wet wipes, garbage bags, cotton wool, 2 to 3 changing table pad covers. And also you need a waterproof changing pad for when you go out and about. When bathing, you'll need a bathtub to fit your baby. Now, there are loads of them again, but you can get one that's convertible that expands as your baby gets bigger, which is great and saves you money. So I would recommend getting something like that. And then it means that you reduce the amount of clutter that comes in with buying different size baby tubs. Get 2 to 3 soft towels, baby wash, shampoo, talc powder, and moisturizer, and massage and hair oil, unless you're going to use coconut oil, which a lot of people do nowadays. Finally, toys. Now, we've talked about toys a lot of times, but for newborn, they get a lot of cuddly toys. So get a few baskets or big basket bin things that you can get. IKEA have really great ones. And a bookshelf for the books that you're going to read to your little baby while he's falling asleep on you while you're breastfeeding. But then as they get older, you can plan for the next stage of the toy room and the toy invasion, as I like to call it. So those are my top tips and my top list of items that I think you should get. On top of that, as I mentioned already about the Muji drawers, they are really helpful. They're not the cheapest, but there's always sales all the time. And they are so useful if you get the big drawers to put stuff in them. And they can be used for a long time after. They can be used for toys as well later on. So this is what I think that you need. And that's after working with clients and with friends and family and seeing what they've used and what they've advised they needed when they had their newborn. Of course, there are other items that are nice to have and then stuff which is a complete waste of money. But start off with these and then you can always get more online whilst you're breastfeeding in the middle of the night. Let me know if there's anything that you think was essential. Leave it in the comments and let me know, and I can share it in another episode later on. If you'd like more tips and tricks from me, always you can follow me on social media at DECLUTTRME. And if you don't want to miss another episode, you can subscribe to your on your favorite podcast player, the Declutter Me podcast. And we are on Apple and Spotify, and also I'm on YouTube, so you can watch me there as well. Thank you again for listening. I hope you found it really useful today, and I'll speak to you next week. Take care. Bye.